Welcome to A Slice of Bacon, a podcast about movies and television, but mostly movies. It's April 4th, 2016, and today I discuss the disappointing second week of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the official synopsis for John Wick Chapter 2, the box office results for the past weekend, and finally, I answer a viewer question. If you enjoy what you hear, like A Slice of Bacon on Facebook by visiting facebook.com/ASOBpodcast or by searching A Side of Bacon Podcast in the top search bar on Facebook. Keep up to date with new episodes, partake in movie discussion, and more. Like A Slice of Bacon on Facebook today. Now with that, on to the news. This weekend, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice ended its second weekend with ticket sales dropping over 68% to make only $52.3 million domestically. Overseas, in China, the film saw an even larger Week 2 drop-off of over 78% to tie with Zootopia in third place at $12.7 million. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers' domestic distribution chief Jeff Goldstein responded to these numbers by saying this: "We're not concerned with the drop. No matter how you slice it, to get to $52 million on any given weekend is an enormous accomplishment. We're most focused on where we are in total, and our global number is huge." Now I will say he is right. Their global number is pretty huge. But this is not good news overall. If WB isn't having a major discussion internally about the Justice League, I would be very surprised. It is supposed to start shooting in just a few days, and Snyder is still the director on it. Because it's the same director and most of the same writing team, it's going to be a film that is on par with Batman v Superman. So Warner Brothers should be a little bit scared of this. And say what you will about Man of Steel, but it did not have as many naysayers as this movie has. This film is universally disliked overall by critics and audiences, and I hear apologists for Man of Steel, and honestly, I saw Man of Steel. It wasn't that bad. I enjoyed Man of Steel. I saw Batman v Superman. I can't say I enjoyed it. I'm glad I saw it, but I can't say I enjoyed it. And let's be honest, this is going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths that will carry through to Justice League Part 1. But that said, what can Warner Brothers do besides admit they made a mistake and start pushing dates back? They have a movie that they have to shoot. Justice League has been announced, and they have to shoot Part 1 now. It's going to lose them money in the long run if they start pushing dates back, which they should do, but they won't. Justice League, it's basically a doomed movie by now. The best they can do is start rewriting the film during shooting, but even that has consequences and probably still won't make for a good movie. Warner Brothers is in a lose-lose situation. I'm not going to be going to see Justice League on its first weekend, especially if I'm the one paying, and especially after seeing Batman v Superman. I saw it a second time last week, and I almost fell asleep. So, I'm not excited for Justice League, but there's not much they can really do unless they make big changes that will lose them money in the long run. And that's really all I have to say about that. My second piece of news is from this past Friday. Lionsgate just released an official synopsis for the much-anticipated sequel to 2014's surprise hit, John Wick. It reads, "Keanu Reeves returns in the sequel to the 2014 hit as legendary hitman John Wick, who is forced to back out of retirement by his former associate plotting to seize control of a shadowy international assassins guild. Bound by a blood oath to help him, John travels to Rome, where he squares off against some of the world's deadliest killers." Lionsgate's John Wick Chapter 2 arriving in theaters on February 10th, 2017. The film also stars John Leguizamo, Lance Reddick, Bridget Moynihan, and Ian McShane, along with Lawrence Fishburne. Now, I never saw John Wick in theaters. I caught it on Blu-ray on Redbox months later. I was honestly very surprised. I'm not a big Keanu Reeves fan. Everyone loves the Matrix films. I'm not a huge Matrix fan. People love Speed. I didn't really like Speed. Everybody also loves Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or the Bill and Ted films. I forget which one's the good one, which one's the bad one. I didn't like the first one, which was supposed to be the good one. I thought it was terrible. But I will say this was a great Keanu performance. It was fun. It was enjoyable, even though there was a dead dog involved. It was a B-movie premise with an A-movie quality. And it's not to say that's a bad thing. It was a film that knew what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a little bit campy. It wanted to be a little bit reminiscent of the 90s action films. But it had the quality of a big budget. It just had a good quality to it that you don't see many of these action movies having. This synopsis doesn't tell a whole lot. The Assassin's Guild information sounds interesting, as does Going to Rome, and as does this blood oath and going against the world's deadliest killers. It doesn't seem like it's a retread of the original. It seems like it's a good idea, a new idea. Seems like it's going to have some great fight scenes. I can't wait for a trailer. I'm definitely going to catch this one in theaters, as I wish I now had seeing the first one. So that's all I have to say about that story as well. Now onto the box office. It took me 3 tries, but I finally predicted the weekend box office results correctly. In first place was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice with $52.3 million. Zootopia in second place with $20 million. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 in third place with $11.1 million. God's Not Dead 2 in fourth with $8.1 million. And finally, rounding out the pack is Miracles from Heaven with $7.5 million. Really, the only thing surprising me on this list is seeing how far Batman v Superman fell. I thought it would still have above $1 million, but right now it is in second place. Or right now, it made less money in its second week than Deadpool made in its second week, which is very telling, especially since these two movies were made with way different budgets, and you can tell. But again, Deadpool is the better film, and it shows, and the audience shows for it. If you make a good film, audiences will come. If you make a bad film, audiences may come in that first week, but weeks after that, they're not going to repeat view the film. We'll see more changes soon, especially with Jungle Book coming in 2 weeks and Hardcore Henry coming out next weekend. Finally, it's time to end the podcast with a listener question. This one comes to me from Twitter from Another Idea Man. It reads, #ASOB is getting better and better. Love it. What is your most anticipated film in 2016? First of all, thank you. Each episode, I believe, is an improvement on the last, if not because I keep learning about how to make each episode better. So thank you. Second, my most anticipated film of 2016 is definitely Star Wars Rogue One. Not much is known about this film besides its cast, its basic plot, which is the retrieval of the Death Star plans, and the fact that Darth Vader will be involved. There's no trailers, there's no poster for it, there's just the logo treatment. There's one cast photo that has been out online since last year, and the film is less than 9 months away. Usually I would be very scared about this, but I trust that it's going to be a good film. It is a scary prospect for Lucasfilm, as this is the first Star Wars film that does not feature any of the Skywalker family. That said, this film will determine the future of the anthology stories. It won't affect the Han Solo anthology, because it's already in production. They're already looking for their Han Solo. I'm not convinced they haven't found him yet. I think they've already cast him and they're just being very coy on it. That said, this will determine what's going to happen after 2000. I believe it is 2020, I'd like to say, but we'll see. Honestly, I can't wait for this movie because I know it's going to be good. I'm just interested to see a Star Wars film that doesn't have the music of John Williams, a Star Wars universe film that is not just a Jedi film. I love this episodes. I loved episode 7. I believe I'm going to see love to see episode 8 based on what I've heard so far. But I want to see something different from that universe, and I believe this movie will be something different. Luckily, we'll probably see a trailer next month in May with Civil War. Disney loves synergy, and since they own Marvel and they own Star Wars, synergy is what they're going to do, and they're going to get people in to see Civil War who probably wouldn't see it otherwise, basically non-superhero fans, by throwing in a big anticipated trailer onto the front of the film. But we'll see. So that is my Monday episode of A Slice of Bacon. If you have any Twitter questions or any listener questions of any kind, you can send them to me via Twitter at BaconRelatedPun with the hashtag ASOB, or you can email them to me at asliceofbaconpod@gmail.com. With that, have a wonderful Monday afternoon. See you Wednesday.